3 things were delivered yesterday. Oh, what a selection. Some rope.
Oh, my word.
You don't have to give us the context.
It's like Game of Cluedo, this.
Some a fellaway, which is to relax a cat.
Do you have a cat?
It'd be weird if I didn't.
Why would you want
He's
to
got
quickly
some-
relax a cat?
Some rope and some cat.
We love this man, and it's great to have him back on the show. It's Joe Lycett, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's nice. What a nice intro.
It's lovely to have you here.
You're so regular now, Joe, as a guest here.
Yeah.
There's clockwork.
I want to offer you. It's like a bit of a timeshare, right?
Oh.
Okay. So here at Absolute Radio, Bush and myself, we are given lockable boxes. Okay, to keep stuff in.
You're in for a real
Is this
treat
Is
tonight.
this a hostage situation?
No, it's not. No, this is. We don't have desks or anything like that. This is it. This is all we have. So this is my lockable box.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
being
look,
that
it's
you
got a
are,
picture of you.
yeah, picture of me.
That's
It's
a
full
nice
enough.
picture of you.
Isn't
You
it?
look
Yeah.
handsome there.
It's old.
What are you saying, Joe?
I've piled some on.
Oh, we've all piled some on.
But there's room in here if you want to keep some Joe Lycett stuff because you're in so often.
Right,
so
hang on. Let's have a look in this. You've got a whole binder for hair gel.
There is
What?
It's very strange, isn't it? He's got a section dedicated to hair gel.
That's the only section. You're not using these. These are like the what do you
Like I
call
said,
these?
there's
Section dividers.
room.
There's
There's room.
Dividers.
What would you keep in the Joe
Do you mind if I
Lycett?
go through
I
this?
don't mind. What would you
know.
keep in the Joe Lycett lockable box if you were here?
Just loads of Tic Tacs, probably.
You always turn up with a bum bag attached to you on a diagonal.
Yes, do you want to go through that?
Well, you look like...
It would be fair, wouldn't it?
What have you got in there?
Scott, what's this? This is a honey lip balm.
Oh,
Right.
now that sounds good.
This is
Do you know what lip balm is in German?
Go on, tell us.
Liebenpflege. This is a Malin and Gertz leather perfume, which is my signature scent, and it's
Is it?
very nice.
If you've just joined us, we're doing an inventory of Joe Lycett's kit that he's got with him.
If it doesn't smell of leather, but it's nice though, isn't it?
It's nice,
Is
very
it
nice.
Getting
I
you
like
going.
it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I've got my keys, which I've got quite a few keys on there, different things.
You live in a warehouse?
my-
He's got
My gold nail varnish, my AirPods, and then I've got my old mobile phone. I've got my burner phone. I've got my current mobile phone.
Oh, my word.
My wallet and my asthma inhaler because I've got delicate lungs.
Tell us about your burner phone. What's going on there?
I use it. It's the name of the person who is on that phone is a man called Ken Roberts. So if you
Right.
get a call from him, this is Ken Roberts.
Is that your pseudonym or something?
It's a pseudonym. He's an American New York gay guy in his sort of mid to late 60s, I'd say.
Okay.
And he lives in New York, and he sort of helps run sort of pride events.
When would you get a call from Ken if you're a member of the public?
He hasn't been called for a while, but sometimes I get WhatsApps. And actually, I had a phone call from the police on that number asking to speak to Ken.
Okay.
Wow.
I think Joe might be on the run.
I'm going to move my lockable box because I don't know what he's going to put in it and it could incriminate me.
Don't let him anywhere near it.
That all relates actually to my stand-up show, but I won't tell you any more because I'd have to kill you.
But let's talk about the stand-up tour. It's fantastic. You're getting back out there and doing an arena tour. Tell us the name of this tour, because it's a good name.
More. How do you like it? How do you like it?
Now, do comedians, are they feeling under a lot of pressure at the moment to come up with a pun on the name? Like, what if your name was like Gary Puck or something? Do you know what I mean? You're stuck with what's pun around there. Do you know what I mean?
Good fun with that.
Can you go out?
Non-broadcastable fun with that.
But can you go out there with just a non-pun based name as a comedian?
People do. Yeah, lots of people do. But for me, the reason I started it is because when I wrote the title, I wouldn't know what the show was about. I hadn't written it by that point. And the shows often aren't about anything. My early shows were just sort of a series of jokes and routines. So it's just a way of giving it a sort of a mildly amusing title rather than just like my story or whatever nonsense.
That's fair enough. That's
Down
fair.
on your puck.
Down in your puck with
if
Gary.
I was
Very
Gary,
nice. You've been thinking
what-
about that for a while.
I didn't listen to your answer.
Did that come out of the box as well?
With the touring and writing tours,
And then I saw in your tweets, Joe, that have you got into gardening? Have you got a bit of an interest in gardening?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Do you garden?
I've never gardened before. I've killed a lot of houseplants over the years.
Yeah.
Like a massacre.
They're so peace lilies are such divas because if you don't water it, it just droops like that. Like oh god, and literally just give it a pint of water, and then suddenly it's like, I'm back. And it's as quick as like within a few hours. And then there's stuff that goes like, oh, you've given me too much, so I decided to die. They're so over the top, aren't they?
Have you grown stuff that you can eat at home?
Yeah.
You're self-sustainable now, Lysett Towers?
Completely self-sustainable, yes. I mixed results. But sweet corn, this blew my mind last year. I grew sweet corn and I wanted to have a good crop. And the year before it had there'd been gaps in the corn, and I thought that they'd been eaten by things. But apparently, you know, on the end of a sweet corn, they've got all those hairs that come off the sweet corn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
on the end
yeah.
Of a cob.
They're almost slightly off-putting.
They're a bit off-putting.
They are, but it looks like a cow's...
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Well, I'll probably never eat sweet corn again. But each one of those hairs corresponds to an individual corn, and you have to get pollen onto each one. And if it doesn't get pollen on that hair, then that corn will not grow.
Oh, wow.
And so what I ended up doing is going on, like, taking a bit of pollen from one of the other plants and rubbing it on the hairs, and I had a really good crop last year. And stuff like that constantly just amazes me. I'm like, this just evolved out of thin air, and suddenly there's this mad thing that tastes delicious and lovely with a bit of butter, and it just came out of nowhere. It just decided that's what it was going to do. I love it.
That's amazing.
Full of failure and full of like disappointment, and then these little magic moments where you go, I just made a tomato and I've just eaten it in my gob. I just did that. I love it.
But do you not worry for next year's crop? I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but with this tour that you are on and all the dates that you've got, and then come to September, it ramps into arenas. It's crazy. Who's looking after Lysett Towers? Who's looking after the garden? Who's looking after the sweet corn, the tomato? Touring's obviously hard being away from home.
Yeah, Wendy, her name is.
I wasn't expecting an actual answer.
She does 2 hours every couple of weeks, and she helps out in the garden. She's very good, actually, very good. Shout out to Wendy. Do
you miss being away from home?
I love my home, and I'm very... Because lockdown, we all just spent loads of time in it, so I kind of nested and got it, gradually started...
That's why I was surprised. I don't mean it's in a bad way. Why I was surprised about your gardening expertise, because I imagine Lysett Towers to be maybe a rooftop garden in Brick Lane, that kind of thing, very trendy, but it sounds like you have like a proper normal house with like a garden and that. Yeah, no, I live in Birmingham, and there is no rooftop terrace. That would be nice. If you got on the roof, it looked like a protest. It would look like a breakdown. It's like a mid-terrace house on a like standard sort of Birmingham suburb street, and I've got lovely neighbours and a nice. I've made the garden nice. It wasn't that nice when I moved in, but I've got it a lot nicer. So with all the dates that you do, would you always like you do a gig and then you'd want to just get home? Yes. So you're waking up in your bed the next day, kind of exactly thing. That. So I'm doing like 2 or 3 day shows, and it will be in the same place, and then after the last show I go home, and so I'm in my own bed that night. But I like to explore the places, like going and staying hotel nearby and doing a little exploring walks. And because comedians, there's a lot of like, obviously Glenn, who does our breakfast show with Dave Berry, Glenn Moore, there's a lot of like driving late at the beginning, I guess. Is there a point in your career where that kind of changes, where you don't have to like sleep at a service station and all that kind of stuff? I mean, I never slept at Oh, no, actually. No, I have slept in some weird places, actually. I did a lot of, like, sofa surfing. But no, it's still, like... that's the least appealing part of it for me, is the M6. Yeah. God. What's your favourite M? My favourite M is actually the M40. As you drive out through, there's sort of like a Chiltern Hill where you go through like a cutting. Yes. I genuinely have got exactly the one. Yeah, and the sunsets at them. I actually imagine that's what heaven looks like. Yeah, that the pearly gates are actually that cutting. Yeah, and you've just been to Beaconsfield Services, which is one of the greats. And lovely the first services to have a Wetherspoons, I believe. My favourite motorway M is the little M32 into Bristol, which doesn't have any service stations. It's got some great garages on it, and it's got an IKEA there. We used to go there for evening, not even buying any furniture, just having meatballs for a tea. Oh, how lovely. I always think that you can tell a lot about a person by their last Amazon order. I've had an alert come up on my phone whilst we're interviewing saying that only a few stops away is my DeLonghi water filter. Wow, what a day this is going to be. Okay. Like the other half, Liam. You can tell a lot about a person in the most recent order. What would Joe Lycett's most recent Amazon order be? 3 things were delivered yesterday. Oh, what a selection. Some rope.
Oh my words!
You don't have to give us the context.
It's like Game of Cluedo. This.
A Fellaway, which was recommended to me, which is to relax a cat.
Do you have a cat?
It'd be weird if I didn't.
Why would you want to quickly relax a cat?
Some rope and some cat.
This third item is key, Joe. It could go either way. This.
Some solar-powered garden lights.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. And also, a couple of days ago, Behind the Seams, the book by Esme Young, the judge on Sewing Bee. The rope is because I bought a hammock for the garden, and the hammock only just came as the hammock, and actually I need a rope to get it onto.
Yep.
I'm going to put it under the pergola. The lights under the pergola have gone for some reason. I can't get them to work, so I've got to get some new ones.
Quite the story, Joe.
And then the Fellaway is because Winston, my cat, I think is a bit stressed because he gets sad that I'm away.
Yeah.
And there's been a rival cat coming in. Oh my God! Right,
It's getting emotional.
Isn't it? We're getting
This
right into
cat.
it.
So I set up this little camera so I can watch Winston have his dinner, and I've got an automatic cat feeder which gives him his dinner.
So you watch him when you're on tour. You can see what he's
and
doing.
I can speak to him and say hello. Whatever.
Love it.
He's
And I
looking around.
discovered this rival cat was coming into the house, and it's got it's a very beautiful cat. It's got this little neck collar with bells on it, and I heard the bells in the house the other day, and so I sprinted downstairs to get this cat. And actually, I'll show you a picture. And he ran outside. He went onto the neighbour's shed, and he licked his lips.
Look at his face. That's the face of a criminal who's just got away with it, isn't it?
Yeah, look how thrilled he is with that.
What can you do about that then if a cat's coming into your house and having Winston
I should
stuff?
get a chipped cat flap, but I'm a bit like, come on, come all. I don't mind, but because Winston's getting stressed out about it, I thought I'll put some relaxing Fellaway in there. Apparently, that's quite good.
So is that like an upper and catnip's an upper, Fellaway's a downer?
I think so. There's also a good YouTube channel with lots of relaxing cat music, which I put on, and I had a 2-hour nap the minute I put it on. So.
Amazing.
Yeah.
On a slightly more serious note, I noticed that you tweeted about this in the past 24 hours, and it's a great bit of news now that you're on the show. We're talking about Blackpool footballer Jake Daniels coming out as the first openly gay professional footballer. You tweeted that's wonderful. That's an amazing
Did
thing.
I say wonderful? I should have put disgusting. But
what?
the wrong word.
Can you believe it's taken so long?
Disappointingly, yeah. I feel like it's sort of. I'm sort of amazed it's happened, and I've been quite moved by it, and it feels like a really momentous day. And I hope that it's not just a one-off, and I hope that others feel there'll be lots of people watching it now, won't there? Going, let's see how this works out for him. It's an embarrassing part of football. Football for me, I'm a supporter of West Brom. I've been to 1.5 games.
We're going to have to come back to that, by the way.
Yeah,
but yes.
but football has been intimidating to me. It's not a space where I feel like I could necessarily feel comfortable and safe the whole time.
Right.
And I think that needs to change. There's a whole market from just a capitalist point of view that they're missing out on, of people that would love coming to watch football that just don't feel safe there. And I think it's amazing. It's such a brave thing and such a brilliant thing to do. And what we are aiming for is for it to be, for when it to happen, for you to not ask me a question about it, because it's irrelevant.
Absolutely.
It's just, who cares? So I hope that that's what will happen. It's so far to go, though, isn't there? Like, it's, yeah.
Do you feel like the reaction so far, though, has been really positive, hasn't it?
Oh God, yeah, amazing. But it will be those sort of fans on the pitch that
It's called like
jeer and all
banter. It's the word banter is just there's something really kind of grim about it, isn't there?
Yeah. There will be lots of banter, won't there? I don't know. I like to sort of think positively about these things, and hopefully it is like the start of a kind of loads of players, because statistically there'll be tons of them out there.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
1.5 games?
Yeah, I went to one and then I went to another and I got a bit bored, so I went to the park.
Can't just go at half time.
Yeah, I know.
You are touring until September. Where can people go to get their tickets to see you?
They can go to joelysett.com/comedy, and yes, there's tickets. Most of the theatres, I think, are gone. They often release tickets on the day of the show. So if you're in somewhere, like I'm in Cambridge this weekend, if you look on Saturday, they will probably release some last minute. But then I'm doing arenas in September, and oh boy, Newcastle needs some sales. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, listen, it's always lovely to have you on. We're going to say goodbye to you now, Joe, but we've just got to let the audience into what normally happens, because we've had you on the show a few times.
Yeah.
You'll stick around for a little bit and you have a bit of a chat. And then you just kind of go, all right, see you later. And you just kind of wander off with like a carrier bag. And I always think to myself, where does he go? What does he do? Would you go to the arcades or...
Down the old arcade.
What do you do with yourself?
I did go to the arcade in Saltburn when I was on tour, and I went on one of those 2-penny machines.
It's great fun.
I could see how addictive that. I was like in there, like getting really like, I'm going to get that sticker out. I'm going back to Birmingham to go to my garden.
That's
my
nice.
plan. What are you doing?
Don't
You're going to go
forget
through your
there's-
box.
Well, I've got a box audit ahead, and there's room.
It's always there for you, Joe. That's all we're going to say. The box is always there.
I'm going to buy loads of rope. In the middle of the night, just put it in there. That's what he's into.